a couple of different things. So one, I don't think anybody at all has the right to like tell somebody to leave the internet. It's the internet, and none of us have
Oh,
that
he
right
just
to
told
tell
me the
anybody that,
community.
in my opinion. That's just my opinion. Um, I think that where I think like we're kind of missing the mark is, and I don't even know if like, and I'm curious. I know the other night when I was on your panel heels,
I
I
couldn't even
when
hear you when you were on my panel.
okay, when I brought
Yeah,
up
I
a
heard
few.
bits and pieces, but everybody was going at the same time.
Wow.
Okay. When I brought up a few different things, there was well, people on the panel a couple of times had brought up different things and were asking you questions. You were saying like you didn't recall that. Where was that on your blog? Stuff like that, right?
Yeah, because it's been
And
years since I looked at the blog. And
yeah,
I
so
once I wrote something, I moved on. I didn't keep going back to it.
okay, so my curiosity question is, at any point in time over the last 2 days, were you able to go back to your blog and reread some of the
Yesterday.
stories and articles that you wrote?
Yesterday I did some. But not all 400s that are up, or 600s that are there, or the 400s that were published.
Okay. Now, while I can understand why you haven't put it public, and the glare, there is a link out there on Burnt Toast page that you can go to find the blog post.
Yeah.
That link is still active. In case for those who there, because everyone hasn't read it, and I think that's one of the disconnects that's happening. But that link is up and available, and you can see the blog for yourselves. Um, but I guess my concern would
Not
be is
anymore. She'll shut it down.
no,
I have it.
the link is she
It's
can't
not
touch the
shut
link.
down.
Yeah, unless she actually cancels the blog, she can't touch the link. So that's fine.
She'll
Um
cancel the blog
so
because
my
she's a
my
coward.
question more so was I've heard you talk a lot about like, you know, and I asked you the other day and you couldn't really answer. I can tell that you clearly have an issue with, Ben Crump, Sean King, Al Sharpton by looking at your blog, right? My
Right.
question would be is why did you choose to write about the people they represented instead of talking about them?
I did talk about them. Not so much Al Sharpton, but Ben Crump. I talked about him a lot.
But your blog, like just looking at like just the homepage, right? Let's just say just the like the different tabs that you have on there, right? Those
Mm.
tabs don't reflect Ben Crump. Like the only thing that reflects Ben Crump in specific stories on your blog or articles on your blog, they are about the victims, right? So it's like 99% of it is the victim, and then it's this one line, and of course Ben Crump's representing them again, kind of a
No, that's
thing.
not how it is at all. I don't know. That's why I think, what are people reading? I mean, unless the blog is screwed up, I don't know because they keep removing pages. But those are cases. They wouldn't say Ben Crump on the tab. It's the different cases that he represents. Then when you read the blog, he's all over the blog.
Okay. So, and I had asked you the other day, so people like Renisha McBride.
Uh-huh.
Renisha McBride was not represented by Ben Crump at all. I'm
No, but
curious
that
why you
happened.
chose to
Yeah,
write about her. She wasn't a mainstream, like high profile
it
case or
was a high
anything like that.
profile case. It most
Not
certainly was a high profile case.
so why did you choose to write about her?
Well, it was Ted Wafer and Renisha McBride, and there was a woman named Denise Soriel, who was his, I think, ex girlfriend, not ex wife, who was
Hmm.
stalking him. And like she would bust into his house and he would have to get her out. I think it was we at first thought it was her. And then it turned out to be Renisha McBride. And so that's all it was. I mean, it was during that time. And it was a high profile case. No, that one wasn't Ben Crump. But that was like in the middle of all the other cases. And I had a blog and I wrote about it.
So I'm
I mean, I wasn't
curious,
going to jump back and forth onto the web sleuth.
during your research on with that particular story, did you happen to go like you wrote about how he had a restraining order against Denise, but I
Denise, yeah.
noticed that you never put anything in there that restraining order was thrown out by the courts, like it was never approved.
I think I did. I'm pretty sure I would say that if I knew that it was thrown out.
I'm on my phone, so if somebody else has a way to share screenshots, I have screenshots of the article because you did not write about that. And majority of that article was about Renisha McBride. You
Well, I
didn't
had to
focus
take down the
on
ones about Denise. I was ordered to take them down because she sued me.
Okay. Okay. So can you understand like what other people are seeing
No,
about
not
the
if I'm
blog?
writing about a case. I just want to know, what am I supposed to understand about, you're telling me the restraining order was, I guess, denied or whatever. The point wasn't that. People were trying to figure out what happened because at first I don't think they knew what happened.
But
And
it comes off like you're explaining why he shot this young girl. It's his like because of his past with his girlfriend, right?
right,
But
that
that's
part of the
not
fear
what the
could have
court
been it
found.
was her.
But
No, we were sleuthing. We didn't know for sure what happened.
okay. So my okay. I guess what I see from the blog, and I'm trying to be like as rational and open as possible that you even can be in any way.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is when you look at your blog, I just don't understand why every article, everything you wrote about on your blog, this is your work. And I understand you don't want to make it public because if they take away all your work, you seem very, very proud of the work that you've
No, it
done,
was
right?
hard work for 3 years. Why would I want to? I'm just like that. Like I keep all my emails. I'm just like that.
And
I keep everything.
that's your thing, and nobody can knock that because that's your thing. Fine,
You
but
mean like sexual assault accusations?
Anyway,
Interesting.
so okay, so I guess for me it's like when you had the opportunity, right, to have your own page and your own voice to be heard, right? The way that you used your voice was very similarly to the people that you call out have used their voice. And so for me, it
well,
looks very hypocritical and
right.
you
Wait, I'm
stand
lost.
by
Yeah, but
those
then I'm
actions.
lost. You lost me.
Of,
You're not
of,
going
of course
to
you're
say it
lost.
again.
Okay. So
Hey, stop.
for me, looking at your blog overall,
Yes.
the overall theme, right?
Uh-huh.
Your blog was an opportunity for you to be able to use your voice to write about what you wanted to write about, right? And your choice was to pick cases where an African American person
No.
had lost their life,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Have you heard me?
That's what you made the choice to do. And a lot of your posts on that blog currently, still to this day, are very like,
Not to
you
this
did call
day.
Trey. You said the other night, hold on, let me finish. The other day,
Sorry.
you said you didn't call Trayvon a thug, and you did 2 times in that
Okay. Then
blog.
I did. I did not say definitively. I did not. I said I could have. I did not. Michael Brown. Was it Michael Brown? The other guy. And I said I could have.
So I'm just trying to see, like, can you understand how people would see, like, they would look at this blog and they would see what you were writing and see that, like, you are disproportionately focused on
Black people?
Black people.
And I told you why that blog was okay. I don't know.
Was what I really did hold out hope for is that she would come forward and say, yes, like, in the past, maybe it was misconstrued, but yes, I did, harass these families. And, Kendra Johnson's mother has been very open about that harassment. You've been very open about the harassment of Sabina and Tracy Martin. Like, you've been open about that harassment, right? Yes, I did. But from those
No, I
situations,
didn't say I
I
harassed him.
realized,
I
like,
never said I harassed him.
well, they have said that. So, okay, I'll take that back.
Okay. Well,
They've said that.
she's
So
also said that.
from
Miss
that, well, hold on.
Johnson says
From
that
that,
about
I
everybody.
realized
Not
like
listen.
how that felt to be that person. And that's why I started calling these people out, right? But it's hard for me to see the validity of what you do when today she stands by currently. She would be willing to do that same type of, if Kendra Johnson's mother came out tomorrow and started getting back in the news and reopen the case again and all that stuff, I believe she would go back out there and fight against them again.
I mean, this is a mother that can't accept that her son, it was an accident. She wants these two boys to be, you know,
She's
convicted
a
of killing
grieving
him.
mother who, regardless if we agree with how
wrapped up
she's
in a
grieving
mat.
or
It was
not,
an accident. He's
that's
wrapped up
her
in a
There's
mat.
another
process.
mother, though, Nunya. There's another mother who has two sons whose life has completely changed because of that woman.
And they absolutely sued her, did they not?
They did. That doesn't mean that they're not still harassing him and making movies to call him murderers.
Then why didn't you write an article about them instead of writing articles about him, about Kendrick or his mother?
I did. There's a lot of articles about it.
Can you share the
About the
article?
president of
bells?
the NAACP and
Can you share
Valdosta
the
wrote on
article?
my blog about it.
Can you share the article?
What article?
The one that you just said that you wrote.
I wrote many.
Okay, so share it.
Claire, you had a chance to look at it. You were given a link just now. So go look at it.
It's like a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Thank you.
That's ridiculous.
That's how and that's just my opinion, but that's
Why?
what that looks like.
What do you mean, why?
I told you why I started the blog. It wasn't like out of the blue, I'm going to start sleuthing black people. It's because you can't do it. Where I was sleuthing for years and years, it was controversial. They didn't want to mess with it. So I started a blog. It's not like it was
and for
like
4 years.
So you admit that your
because
blog,
he had
so you
those.
admit that
No, it
your
wasn't
blog
4
was
years,
you
and
admit
that's
that
because
It
he
was
had
from
3 cases. It
2012
was
to
not 4 years.
black people in
2016.
your
That's 4
blog.
years.
So you admit that you targeted black people. In
It
your
was
blog.
up there for that long. That was probably the last post or something.
You admit,
but I
that you
wasn't
targeted
active
black
on it for
people in
4
your
years.
blog. You admit
You
that you
have
targeted
blog
black
posts
people in your
from
blog.
2012 to 2016.
Right. In 16, there was hardly anything.
But you have blog posts from 2012 to 2016.
16, I think, has one post on it.
I'll go look. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't think there's hardly anything on 16.
Jesus, man.
We're going to go over my whole post. The whole thing.
Seriously, just fucking stop. Like
2016 has 12 posts.
Oh, it does? Well, that's not many.
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Yep.
That's a whole year. 12 posts.
Yeah. Now, 2012, I'll give you, it only has 5 posts. So you started out slow. But hold on, I'll go tell you what because 2014 and 15, those were really busy years for you. Hold on.
Kendrick Johnson, that's why.
So full of shit.
I don't care what you think.
Yeah, you do. You wouldn't
ignorant.
be up here if you did.
But see how you guys are cherry picking.
Oh, I'm not here for you.
Posts.
You would be up here
has
if you didn't
147
care.
posts.
Right.
Yeah, so 2013 and 2014. And to me, I feel like you had an opportunity to have a voice. And I think where like the community you come from, the community you're surrounded by, the community
a voice for what?
With, I think
a voice
the sad
for
part
what?
is a lot of us feel like you stand by to this day. Like it's not like, like, oh, I did something wrong and I fixed it. Like it's not like that at all. It's I stand by exactly everything on that blog. You stand by it. And we've seen a lot of the stuff on that blog, and it is absolutely racist. And you stand by it to this day, and that's racist what is disappointing. At the end of the day, if you're a racist, by golly, who am I to tell you not to be? Stand on that shit 10 toes down and have at it. Right?
That's all we're telling you.
I have no
just
problem with that.
Own it.
But like,
own
don't pee in my face and tell me it's raining. Like that's not like
right.
That's just most of us aren't cool with that. That's all.
Rewind if you have
I'm
to.
saying you had an opportunity from 2012 to 2016 to have a voice, right? And the choice that you made during that time was to use your voice to disparage Black families.
No, that's not what I did. I won't say that.
Well, let me say this.
You had a man that was destroying families.
Exactly what you did.
What?
In my opinion, after reading your blog for 4 years worth of your blog for 3 days, that is exactly what you did. But that's just my opinion. Take it for what that's worth.
It does make it true.
So I should have I'm trying to figure out who I should have advocated for. I was advocate. I don't understand for Trayvon Martin because it was nothing to do with Trayvon Martin. All that went on around him had nothing to do with him. It didn't.
Feels.
It had to do with
For
stand your
me,
ground,
for
right?
me
Fucking
personally, I don't. I'm fairly like, to me, move on, like, and not move off of the internet. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's time to move on. She
I've been
stands by
moved
her work.
on.
She is proud of her work, and there is
It's
nothing like
not that
me.
I'm proud. Okay. You're
There's
just putting
nothing
words
you
in my
are.
mouth. You're telling me what I
I don't
thought,
mean that in a
and
shady
that's wrong.
way. No, I'm not meaning that in a shady way. Like, I think you are proud of your work. Are you not?
It was hard work. It was, you don't even know the case. No one does.
I'm
The
with you,
people
Well,
that
Susie.
you
say
want to
that
talk about 2 of
don't
the
know all the
cases, but you
fuckery
have
that
over
went into that
10
case.
cases
I'm
discussed
with you,
on there.
Susie.
You don't want to
What?
talk about the memes. You don't want to talk about all this other stuff. You
Well,
don't
we
want
can
to
talk
talk
about
about
the
the
memes.
Twitter
I
posts
talked
or anything
about the
like that.
memes. Just,
Here's my thing,
I have
Hills.
talked
Here's my
about the
thing.
memes.
I wasn't even saying that you're proud of your work in a shady way. I'm saying you worked hard to create that blog and to maintain that blog, and that, like, you're proud of that work that you've put into it. I'm not saying it in a shady way.
There are other things. Did you see the Bonita papers? Did you happen to see that?
I sure
That's a lot
did.
of work. Okay. Is that about black people?
No, it's not. It
A
also
lot
is
of
not
work went
written
into
with the same
research,
tone either.
into maintaining film, into maintaining documents. It was a lot of work. I'm not saying it's not a matter of being proud of it because all that work I did was for nothing, but it was a lot of hard work
Why was it for nothing?
because there was another case in another city where this man says he's going to come in and help him, and he walks up holding his money in the air, and everybody is like, "Well, okay, nothing happened. Promises. That's it."
But I think, again, I could have respected the blog if the blog was about him. Your articles, when you
It's
talked
all
about
about
the
him
victims, your articles
because
became like
he's
Subpoena
behind it.
Read was completely 100%. Number one, had nothing to do with Ben Crump, but number
Who?
two, had nothing to do with the activists. It had everything to do with her history, her social media posts, her
Who are you
family members
talking
who had
about?
died in the past. Like, there's a tone there, and to me, like I said, and this is to you, Morbid. For me, it's just it's time to move on at this point. Like, I don't think that there's ever going to be a time where she understands where
Is
we're
that the
coming
girl that
from, or where
died and
we
she had a really
understand where
bad?
she's coming from.
Is that the white girl that died that was killed?
No.
You're racist to write anything, but you have all these other. If you go look at the other cases we cover, the way we treat these victims, like Candace and John and Don, they're pieces of shit, right? But they're victims. We don't care. We
It's
drag them every
But
day. 15
I haven't.
goddamn
apples and
videos.
oranges.
But they're
Apples and
not
oranges.
racist, so we can't put, we
No,
just
so
whatever.
for the record, I don't think that they are piece of shit people. I think that they are parents who lost a child, period. That's all. Like, they are victims of their circumstance, and I let law enforcement take it from there. But it's
No,
not about you not. I mean, number one, let me be very
No,
clear. You have the
nobody's.
right to write about, to do, as creators. Don't we all have the rights to do? We can do whatever content we want,
Nobody's
right?
questioning your rights.
Yeah,
Nobody's
we're
Yeah,
not
you are.
questioning your right to have an opinion. We're not questioning your right to write these articles.
We're just
That's
calling
not
you
the
out
issue.
on your opinion. We're calling you
Oh,
out on your
see,
opinion.
you're calling me on my opinion of a
Yeah.
case, which is mostly researched.
Because
Hold on,
And
let me go.
we're not
generally
even in the time. We're not
cowards.
back there where everything was
Racists are
just,
generally cowards, dude.
everybody
She's
was
a fucking
pitting everybody
coward.
against each other.
She's a
You weren't
coward.
there, or you were there and you weren't paying attention.
Can I read a part for you from the blog?
Would you, again, because hold on a second, good Nunya, and
Go ahead.
I love that you're about to do that, but you wouldn't deny it again. Let's face it, because you're being called on it. That's
I
why.
wasn't called on it because it was in a blog that was 8 years old.
Wow.
Well, why would I?
So are you saying, okay, Heels, wait, I'm
Wow.
really trying to
I mean, if you
understand what
don't
you're
put,
saying.
how would I?
So are you saying that that's okay
Wow.
because you weren't called in on it at that time? Like, is it okay today? I think that's a better question.
No, I just said that, but he's asking me if I were called out. Nobody, it was in a blog. So you're asking me,
In a blog
it
or
would have
in
to be
your
brought
blog?
up to me because I forgot all about it.
In so many words, you wouldn't do it because you're being called out on it, right?
Well, nobody's asked me about it in the last 8 years or so. I don't know if anybody ever did. So what are you talking? How else would I deny it?
I know.
So do you
Yeah,
feel like,
got
so
it.
I am
Got it,
curious, why, when
dude.
you
You
first started
got
your
it.
page here, why didn't you share your blog work here? Like
My
the
blog
work that
was
you had already
open for a
done?
year. I didn't even think about my blog. The only reason I had this channel, and I've said this, is the videos that were linked to this channel. Like the death scene video, there's a mat test video. I think there's like 2 more that you click on the blog and it takes you to the video here. And they're like since 2013, I think. And then this wasn't used until 2021, I think.
Okay, can I read part of the blog?
It was a blog in the middle of all the other things that I've done. Y'all have
Yeah,
found.
but the hard part is you have to understand that, like, you keep saying it like we found these 2 little bits and pieces that we found out of there to just yaha,
No, I
like
didn't
that
say
gotcha
that.
moment for you. And what you're not seeing, like that what we're saying, I'm seeing what you're saying. I'm trying to hear what you're saying, but what like you're not seeing is like that's not 2 little bits and pieces.
I didn't say that.
It's majority of the blog. I'd be
hmm
willing to say a solid 95% has the same exact theme of your articles.
And you just admitted it.
When I
And
just
to me, if you could say, like,
asked if it
if
was
I
racist.
could respect you more
Of course, it's
if you
racist.
said, yeah, that was my theme. That's what I chose to cover. It is what it is. I could
She just
respect that.
did. She
it
just did.
wasn't so fast.
You just
And then there
admitted
would
it.
be a story, and I had a blog. I wasn't blogging anywhere else. I was just doing it there, and that's where
You just admitted it.
blogging about that story brought up other stories. And if that seems racist, then maybe it is. But I know that those 3 stories were Ben Crump. Those 3 stories, and I didn't want to follow him anymore because it was worthless. And anybody that says, "Oh, he's an advocate for," no, he's not. He's an advocate for Ben Crump, and he leaves places just trashed. Yeah, this is what happens, and this is why those cases don't get covered.
Am I fucking crazy? What
That's exactly
If
why.
you had Heels, let me tell you, I could respect
That you're
you
reading probably
if you
wasn't even in the
covered the
paper.
details of the case. Now the Medina pages, I'll give you that. You covered it respectfully. You didn't attack a victim. You didn't victim shame. You didn't do any of that stuff with that one, right?
Which one?
Fine. But what I'm
Which
saying
one?
is I could respect the
Nunya,
blog
which
if it
one?
actually
Is it
was
the blonde
factual.
girl? Because I didn't write that. It's been written for a long time.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying, though. That's the only part of your blog then that is respectable.
Oh, none of my blog is respectful?
When you write about Black people who have died for any reason, and you write about the reasons why they're viewed a specific way. For example, let me go back and read it. Both these kids have been gang banging since they were 13
that's the one that you're stuck on, right?
Their timelines are filled with gang signs, weed
and were
smoking,
they?
drink, and guns.
Yeah. That's
When
not
you write that,
against
you are
them.
shaming the
What did I
victim,
say?
Heels.
What did I say about it?
I know.
No, I'm saying that's a horrible. How old were they? And they've got all this on their timelines.
Yeah,
I mean, if they're 13 and 14, is there just nothing wrong with that? I'm not saying they deserve to die, but there's a lot of gang banging.
That stuff wasn't even on there, though. That
you
is the
said it was on
problem.
I'd have to look at it because I wouldn't put anything on there that's not true.
Show the screenshots, but
Yeah,
the
I'll have
screenshots
to.
that you put on the blog, that's not what's there. It's what you saw, but that's not what's there.
Okay, well, I'd have to look at it again.
please. I did say it the other day. I really think to get a good perspective, and you don't have to. He was like, at the end of the day,
No, I
you
did
can
go back. I
absolutely
just
stand
didn't see
10 toes
this one. I
down.
didn't
It's
watch
your
them.
right to do that, and I'm nobody to tell you what to do at
Hmm.
all. So that don't take it that way at all. But I really think that if you really are trying to understand what the rest of us are saying, go back and read your own blog.
Right. But the problem with this is you're not during that time. Like those years were very much, there was a lot of unrest during those years.
I agree. And I'm
Okay.
not holding
And
you to 10
passions were
to
high.
I'm not holding you to 6 year ago, 7 year ago, 8 year ago, 11-year-old standard at all. I'm saying you're currently, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying you stand by everything in your blog right now in 2023.
Okay. That one you just read, I've got to see it because it doesn't make sense to me that I would say all that and it wasn't true. I mean, I would have taken it off if they had said it wasn't true.
Amazing.
And I think
But the cases themselves, like Kendrick Johnson, Trayvon Martin, and I don't know how much I covered Michael Brown.
I'm curious
Those are
why
the
you
three
felt the
cases. There
need
was
to point
another
out how
guy.
many baby daddies Trayvon's mother had.
I said that about Trayvon's mother?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think so.
You did.
I said, how many baby daddies did Sabrina have?
You talked about how many baby daddies she had.
I don't
And
even think that
literally
about Sabrina.
called them baby daddies, which I have no personal problem with, but I'm just saying.
I think
What
she
did
only
that
had
have
one
to do
kid.
with his case in any way?
Where did I see that? Where did I say that? On that letter? Because Sabrina, I think, only had like 2 kids.
I believe it was Tracy, not Sabrina.
Okay. Yeah, Tracy's a little different. I mean, Tracy's a little different. But you probably don't know that. Now, see, that's the thing. You think one way and I think another,
No,
but you're thinking, oh, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think destroying black people is a good thing, but that's what that man does. And gangs, that's what that does. Those 2 kids are
But
dead.
you
Whether it
didn't
was
write
another
about that.
gang or whatever, what?
Right,
You didn't write
Margie.
about Ben
Right,
Crump like
Margie.
that.
It's
Every time
absolutely
you talked
underdone.
about somebody he was representing, you talked about them, their history, their past.
And I think another,
No,
but you're thinking, oh, that's fine. That's fine. I don't think destroying black.
In that particular case, the articles
Oh,
about them had
if it's one
nothing
of
to
his
do with
cases,
Ben
I
Crump. It had
do.
to do with them, what they did in the past, what their social
There's
medias
page.
look like, what their baby daddies look like, what their school
What are you
records
talking
look
about,
like,
baby
were they
daddies?
juvenile delinquent? That's what you talked about, not Ben
Like-
Crump.
The medical examiner's on there. Lee Touchton. She wrote probably 3 or 4 articles on there. Is she racist?
She didn't target black people.
No,
like
she's
you
the
did.
same one. Had the same opinion.
What are you talking about?
So
You
And she was the president of the
NAACP
NAACP over there.
on your
You
blog
targeted
that
black
said,
people in your blog.
Oh,
and
shut
you
up,
admitted to
Brand, or whatever your name is.
it. You didn't?
Uh-uh.
You didn't? No. Okay,
Oh,
so
because
your
you're
blog,
saying writing about black people
your blog isn't
is always
exclusively
fucking
targeting black
racist, right?
people. I'm
all
saying
right,
if
thank you very much
target,
for allowing me to come up. You guys
I'm
have a good
saying
rest of your night.
target black people in your blog, only black people, yeah, it's fucking racist. Absolutely.
Okay.
Did you not? Are you denying?
I'm not taking his abuse anymore.